Hey there, Centrones. Today I want to talk about stress and being overwhelmed and discouraged with synthesizers. Hi, I'm Pyramid Drone, and this is my channel where I talk about synthesizers. Hit the subscribe button and tap the bell to keep up with all of my synth adventures. Dive deeper at patreon.com/Pyramid Drone, where I talk about other things that's not included on this channel. Okay, well, somebody asked me a question today. They were talking about getting a Studio Live 24 MK3 from Personas and getting overwhelmed, discouraged, and just completely feeling as if they don't want to do music anymore, and asked if I ever felt that way. All the time. All the time. Well, maybe not every single day, but yes, I do feel that way quite often. And just as I was reading that question today, I was looking around at my own studio and I had a MIDI problem. I wanted to add my trusty key step to this setup, but I also like to use my JDXI as well. And I couldn't get the MIDI through to work on the key step. So there I go looking around in forums on the internet. And guess what? I didn't really find an answer. Maybe I just didn't dig long enough or deep enough. But I went back to the manual. I looked at the firmware updates and I updated the firmware and I downloaded the software and I was able to hit a switch via software to get it to work. So now I have my key step working with all of my synthesizers so I can sequence some things here. So, yes, I was feeling overwhelmed, I was feeling discouraged, and I was getting upset because after I got the input or the throughput to work, I had to rewire some cables. You can see one laying here across the keys right now because I just got done finishing it. And it gets overwhelming, it gets discouraging. It's like, oh my gosh, when will the work ever stop and the enjoyment of making music begin? Which I have to tell you, if you want to deal with stress and discouragement, you're going to have to be proactive about it. You have to learn your gear. Now, in the studio, I've got some new synthesizers here. I've got the TI2, I've got the Peak, and I've got the Quantum. And I had to take time out to kind of get familiar with the TI2 from Access Virus. And I already had the C, so there wasn't much of a learning curve. But then when I got the Quantum, it was something different altogether. I'm still learning that beast. And then the Peak arrived, and I have to take time out to learn these machines and read the manuals and play around with them and not try to do too much too quickly or I will get overwhelmed. So I would say to deal with some of the stress that we have is go through your manuals and read, go through forums on the internet and read, watch videos. I have a Series 3 from Personas, a Studio Live, and it can get very tricky sometimes to do some of the stuff that I wanted to do. It took me quite a while to learn my way around the board, and I am no expert by any means. But I did have to take time and be patient. So I would say be patient, take time, learn your gear one at a time, read the manuals, ask questions online, and just be patient. Now, that's easier said than done, I understand. The other thing I would suggest to combat, hopelessness, discouragement, depression in this realm is to go back to listening to music that got you started in all this to begin with. If you have a favorite band, go back and listen to some of their stuff. If you haven't listened to anybody new lately, find someone new to listen to. Uh, Pick something out of the genre of music you're normally listening to. The other day, I went back on the internet and I found some old 70s songs that I listened to as a child that was playing over the radio as a kid, and it brought back a flood of awesome memories. And I just hit the studio about 2 days of listening to those oldies. I hit the studio with a newfound energy. I was revved up. And that's what you have to do. You have to find the things that move you positively emotionally in a positive direction. And for me, it's music. And I think for all synth drones, it's going to be music because that's what we're into. We're into creating music with our synthesis, whether it be just for hobby, for profession, or just for enjoyment. That's what we're doing. We're making sound into music using synthesizers. So why not go back to the very thing that inspired us in the first place? I would dare to say that for every synth drone out there who loves synthesizers, you can look back in that person's history and find a love of music. Something triggered their love for synthesizers. And that something, to me, is music. So go back and listen to some music, take a break, enjoy your life. Enjoy your life. Don't make this into hard work. It shouldn't be hard work. Now it's going to be difficult work by nature, but it shouldn't be something where you dread getting up out of bed to do. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like you're losing your love and your lust for synthesizers, take a couple of days off and just listen to some music. There isn't a day that does not go by that I listen to music. I listen to music every day, and I think it's really important. I take lots of breaks during the day. The other thing to combat stress, depression, and being overwhelmed and hopelessness in this field is to just have a plan. Get up every day at the same time, have a routine, and have a goal for yourself. Ask yourself, what do you want to achieve? When do you want to achieve it? And then draw yourself a map out of how you're going to get there. Because if you're wanting to do this seriously, if you're wanting to make some money doing this, then you're going to have a plan. And if all you want to do is just, do this as a hobby, then, again, you can still get overwhelmed because there's a lot of wires. I've seen people with tons of synthesizers, far more than what I have. And they do it just as a hobby, and there's nothing wrong with that. You just take time out to enjoy yourself and enjoy your gear. So yes, I do get overwhelmed. I do get depressed. I do get stressed. I do have problems in the studio that it seems like nobody in the world can answer. And just remember this: before you buy a new piece of gear to solve your problem, all right? Try to exhaust everything you can possibly learn about what you already have. The reason why I'm saying that is because you will learn something even if you end up having to buy a new piece of gear. You will still learn something about the gear you already have. You'll learn its limitations is what you will learn. So I hope this video helps you guys out there. And please share your comments below about how you handle stress and discouragement and depression when it comes to synthesis. If you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button, tap that bell to keep up with notifications. It really encourages me to continue with these videos. And until next time, I think these allergies are getting to me. Until next time, keep calm and synth on.